Hey guys, Cameron with Iron Force Knives here. I just wanted to talk about my new dust collection system for my surface grinder. I wasn't in the interest of breathing nasty stuff, so I'm going to put this Dayton 3/4 horse, 660 cubic feet a minute dust collector on it. This is traditionally made for wood, but I'm going to do some post filtering past the bag. The bag is 5 micron. One thing you do have to be careful of with dust filtration is, if you suck up a bunch of wood chips and then put some hot sparks on top of it, you can imagine what's going to happen. I'm going to see, the hose is going to be pretty long. The sparks barely even make it to like here, so I don't think it's going to be an issue at all. They do make spark arresters that go in the hose or in a vacuum system to help with this, and it's basically like a fan that makes the air spin and creates turbulence, and it helps cool off the sparks, and they apparently work pretty well. So if I need to, I will design or buy one of those. But anyhow, so my plan here with the surface grinder is put this guy, which came with the dust collection system, right here, and it's going to mount to the saddle, so it's going to go in and out, but not go with the table. And then there's going to be a hose that goes to a Y off of this. I bought a Y fitting, so it's a 4-inch straight, then a 2.5-inch going off the side of it, and the 2.5 will fit right in here. So it'll just stick on there, and then the hose will go over to that piece, and then around the back of the machine and over to the port on here. I got this thing for a screaming deal. That's why I went with this instead of like a Harbor Freight one and then like a Cyclone. It actually seems to have a pretty good Cyclone action to it, surprisingly. It's got like a dust shroud on the inside, or a chip, they call it a chip guard, but it spins the air in that drum, and I threw like really lightweight, big stuff in here, and it did not make it into the bag. I threw like some tiny pieces of paper towel in, and it made it into the drum, I was impressed actually, because it doesn't seem like it would work that well, but we'll see how it goes. One thing, so it's not balanced very well. It shakes, and I'm gonna fix that because it just bothers me. Like it vibrates like more than you'd think, especially when it's spinning up and slowing down. The blades look like a garbage disposal. They are brutal looking. Don't turn it on unless you put the thing together, because it's like, you stick your hand in there on accident and it's mangled. So I'm probably gonna take the thing apart and like clean up the edges of the blades, because they are really rough. Like it's like they put them through an old stamped die, or just a cutter, like stamped them, bent them, and bolted them on. Absolutely no tumbling, nothing like that. They are rough, which I can only imagine is making the blades create more turbulence and making them louder. So I'm going to take the whole thing apart, which really isn't that hard. I mean, it's a few bolts, whatever. Yeah, you just have to take this apart, which means you have to take this apart. It's like 5 bolts, and then, all these screws. And then take that thing out. Probably use like I don't even know, even a file would be fine. And clean up the edges of the blades, and then balance it, which now that I can balance things just using my phone and weights, it's not that hard. I did the spindle motor, spun it up to 7,000 RPM or 7,500, and it runs very smooth now. So I've no doubt that I can balance this little motor. Okay, so word of advice. Just for flexibility, don't get a single phase with a cap version. They're a lot more expensive to go with a 3-phase, but you can put a VFD on it. This thing spins way faster than I need it to be honest. It's like, I think it's probably 3,600 RPM. It's gotta be a 2-pole motor. Yeah, 3450. So it's ripping. It's fast. So, and it vibrates a lot. And I probably don't even half the the suction this thing has. It moves 600 feet a minute through a 4-inch hose. I mean, it's like a vacuum, like at a car wash. But it's really loud. So I measured and knew, you know, above, like holding my phone above this thing, it was, you know, 85 to 90 decibels. You know, it's up there. Like, you need hearing protection if you're going to use this thing. 100% need it. And it was just annoying. It was an annoying sound. It's not as bad as a shop vac. Some shop vacs are extremely loud and they have that high pitched noise. This one's kind of a lower sound. You'll see. I'll just flip it on. But this is after the silencer though, so it's not going to be. So you can hear that vibration there. Yeah. So it's got like a whooshing sound, and it's a lower pitch than a shop vac is, which is why I went with a dust collector. I don't like running shop vacs all the time. Plus, they're not really designed for it. Anyway, I had my tumbler silencer that I built for my blade tumbler, and I don't use the tumbler anymore. And I was like, hey, the bag filter that this thing comes with will fit in that box. And so I cut a hole in it with a jigsaw. I dropped it in. I didn't even have a bottom on it, and already noticed a big difference with the sound. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna finish it because I can make this even better. And it definitely worked great. Like, it is so much quieter. You'll see at the end of the video. But yeah, so all I did was cut a hole in the top. Okay, so let me just tell you what this is. This is a 1/4-inch aluminum composite. It's a sign material. I made this a long time ago and I worked at a sign shop. But I basically built a box out of it and lined it with a closed cell foam. Like, it's not open cell. If you did this with like rock wool or something with an actual sound insulation, it would probably work amazing. But now it sounds like most of the sound is coming from over here. So, but anywho, so what I did, I put a baffle in it and then opened a port on the back side. So the air actually comes out right here. And you'll see that in a minute. And I'll show the pictures and video from the inside, how I put it together, and then I'll show you the results. All right, here's the plan with this thing. I'm going to, okay, so here's my inlet right there. Air comes in the bag, the end goes into the bag. I'm gonna put an air filter. Well, first, I'm gonna cut a hole, like about the top 2 inches of this. Then I'm gonna install a wall about 2 or 3 inches from here. And it's gonna end, you know, go till about 2 or 3 inches from here. And that will provide a path for the air to get out with, you know, as much sound dampening as possible through that gap. And then I'm gonna put an air filter in the bottom underneath the bag, like a 1 micron bag filter, or just a panel filter. So it'll have a filter tray that goes all the way, and I'll change it. This side panel will come off, and I'll be able to slide the filter in and empty the bag. Okay, I got the port cut on top here. I did the math, and you know, the area of a 5-inch circle, which is that outlet size, is about 19 and something square inches. So this is 1 3/4 inches. It's slightly more area than the circle, or than the outlet port. So I'm gonna put foam on both sides of this board with a stapler, and then I guess like glue it in, I don't know. But I'm gonna try to make sure to maintain that gap all the way up so that it's one port that is, you know, 1 3/4 inches by 11.5 inches, so that I make sure that not to, you know, choke this thing too much. And there's my insert. Foam on both sides. I just used a hand stapler, and the only trick is you gotta push the stapler in a little bit to get it to the staples to bite, but after that they go, I mean, they went almost all the way through this 1/4-inch sheet of plywood. I just used 1/4-inch plywood because that's what I had, so. Boom. Nice. All right, now I just gotta figure out, I'll just probably hot glue it in there because it's kind of gonna be pinched between the 2 panels. So I'm probably just gonna throw some hot glue on it. All right, here it is. Got some feet screwed onto it to make it rise to the level about right under there. to put it together and test it out. I think I'd call this mission a success. It is so much quieter. Here it is without the box.